Right, YouTube, it's Shadow King Nazu, here with a review for the Rosario Vampire 2, Chapter 25. Yukari creates a magical item called the Heart to Heart, and she describes that the item is meant to relay feelings. And this is all part of her plan of having Skune and Mocha fall in love with one another so she can have her threesome with them. Stick with that plan, Yukari. I gotta admit, it's pretty commendable that she's committed to a goal. Unlike a certain character I could name, not in this series, but in another series that I don't want to talk about right now. Yukari waits in the classroom for Skune after realizing that she's been working pretty much all night and day on the thing, even though the thing was made from basic materials. But I guess she had to add magic to it as well, so there's that. And she is greeted the next morning by Fong Fong. Fong Fong starts playing with Yukari's device, and it ends up switching minds with her, meaning that Yukari is in Fong Fong's body, and Fong Fong is in Yukari's body. Basically, it's what was the name of that movie? Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. Darn, I forgot about. But you guys know what I'm talking about. So to avoid any confusion, I'm going to snap my fingers right now and pay attention to that. So whenever we refer to Yukari, we're actually referring to her when she's being Fong Fong, and whenever we're referring to Fong Fong, we're referring to him when he's being Yukari. And until I snap my fingers again, that's how it's going to be. So Yukari tries to reverse the process, but the strong output overloaded it. Fong Fong says there are some positives to the situation, but Yukari threatens to give him a sex change if he tries to do anything perverted with it. Ew. Anyway, Yukari looks at her body from Fong Fong's eyes and sees how childish she is. And this is a real blow to her pride because she's always thought, despite her still being a child, she was still pretty beautiful, but she just looks pale in comparison to the likes of Mizure, Ruby, Mocha, and Kurumu. Yeah, she's got nothing on any of them. So, speaking of Kurumu, she arrives and is surprised to see the two together. Kurumu suggests that Yukari probably should marry Fong Fong, and she, considering that she can't attract Skune with her flat chest and childish body. Fong Fong, however, is taking some time to relish being caressed by Kurumu's breast. And this is really interesting since Fong Fong, at his own admittance earlier, says that he hasn't even gone so far as to hold hands with the girl. Wow. That's actually kind of pathetic, really. And funny. Kurumu says Yukari is more of a little sister to Skune, and she hits Kurumu, with Kurumu being confused as to why Yukari asked Fong Fong hit Kurumu when the insult was directed towards Yukari. Then Kurumu and Mizure get annoyed with Yukari and start chasing her down. And this causes Yukari to cryingly wonder if her friends are actual her friends, since Mizure has said that she gets annoyed with their catchphrase of Desu at the end of every sentence. And she is also starting to wonder if Skune just thinks of Yukari as just a surrogate sister. Then, to make things worse, Miss Nekoname announces that there will be a body measurement of a test at the gym, and this creates the problem that Fong Fong might just get some perverted ideas. So she doesn't. So she tries to prevent this. And it turns out the event is being hosted by Ruby. I mean, not hosted, being assisted by Ruby, and she's dressed as a nurse. Should I do this? Now what the heck? Hello, nurse. Oh, Animaniacs stuff. Those are the classics. Anyway, Ruby tries to seduce Skinny with her nurse outfit, but she ends up wrapping herself with the measurement tape. And then Yukari tells Skinny Fong Fong is in the gym. Yukari as Fong Fong tells Skinny that Fong Fong as Yukari is in the gym with the girls, but he's confused about this. And meanwhile, Fong Fong feels nervous about seeing the girls nude. Fong Fong starts to act suspiciously by being perverted, and Miseri asks why Yukari, aka Fong Fong, hasn't been saying Desu. Yukari tries to get Skinny to get her to Fong Fong, but Skinny is kind of confused by the matter and thinks that Yukari as Fong Fong is up to something perverted and that probably doesn't want anything to do with it. But fortunately, Haiji is coming out from the ground saying he understands Fong Fong's feelings and wants to help. So Yukari, Skinny, Haji, and meet up with Gen under the tunnel so they can spy on some girls. And Yukari realizes she is alone with Skinny, but she's tormented by the fact that she can't seduce him with a man's body. Again, this is pretty messed up. Yukari hears Fong Fong and tries to ready to switch, but Skinny thinks Yukari's plans to record the girls and doesn't want in. Yukari says one peek won't hurt, and she knows he views Yukari as a little sister. However, Skinny grabs Yukari by the neck and says that he regards Yukari as a woman and a dear friend who's helped him and his friends a lot. Meanwhile, Cocoa senses Gen and Haiji are spying on them and sends the girls after them. Yukari uses a bazooka to switch between the bodies back to normal. So now we can refer back to Yukari as Yukari and Fong Fong as Fong Fong. And before that, Skinny was able to see Yukari's image in Fong Fong's body. So Skinny gets caught with Gen and Haji, and he and Fong Fong run away from the girls as a bit of a misunderstanding. Then we cut back with Yukari having new confidence in her body despite Kurumu's jokes. And the girls think Yukari is normal again since she's acting as she usually does. And the chapter ends off with Ruby saying that Yukari hasn't grown or developed since last year, which is a minor blow to her pride. I don't know, this chapter had some pretty messed up moments, but all in all it's still pretty good because we're seeing Yukari come to terms with the fact that she's not as beautiful as she believes herself to be. She's still pretty childish in physical feature, but it's nice to know that Skune doesn't think any less of her because of it. So this was pretty much like a perspective story for Yukari. All in all, very nice. So next time we'll see how things go out in chapter 26.